Broadcasting live from atop the Rocky Mountains, the crossroads of the West. You are listening to the Liberty Roundtable Radio Talk Show.
President Donald J. Trump gave an incredible speech last night. I say incredible, not that it was awesome, but that the claims were intense. Now they're starting to fact check it. What's the reality? Do we even know? Will Congress merge the Israeli military into our system? Why hasn't the Iran war caused fuel prices to increase big time, even more than they are now? How about the on-again, off-again war? Is it on now? What about new strikes? What about the death of South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham? What about the weird behavior and situation regarding Mitch McConnell? Will Congress pass an anti-Semitic law? Those are some of the things we'll be discussing today. Welcome to the show. I'm Sam Bushman. The good doctor's in the house. Dr. Scott Bradley with me, freedomsrisingsun.com, well known for his incredible collegiate series To Preserve the Nation and his weekly webinars every Thursday night, Q&As on the Constitution and more. And that's just some of what he's done in his incredible life. Welcome to the broadcast, sir.
Well, thank you, Sam. I mean, we missed last Friday, so, man, there's a lot of catching up to do. I hope all is well with you and yours, and the summer's going well. But, boy, it seems like we miss one get-together, and the plethora of subject matter just blossoms.
Time flies, and news is everywhere. What's funny to me, though, is in a way there's a lot of news. In a way, it's just same. Here's the summary of the news. The economy's struggling. It's down. Donald's a liar. We're at war. Everything's bad. The stock market's up and down. Everything is inflation and prices are up. And there's security problems everywhere. And AI is going to destroy the world. And wow, there's your news. And that's been the case literally for months, Doctor, unless you dig into the nuances and really focus on what it means. But I mean, the headlines are the same day after day, week after week. The U.S. struck Iran and Iran struck back. And hey, Donald says the UN won't get involved like they should, and Iran doesn't have any weapons left, but yet Iran keeps firing weapons back at us, and everybody says they have control of the Strait of Hormuz. And these headlines have just been virtually the same for weeks, sir.
I think it's by design. I mean, I really do believe that if they can make all of this seem mundane, I mean, just pause for just a moment. A war started by a United States president in an unconstitutional matter at the behest of a foreign power and continued without interference from the Congress and them fulfilling their, I mean, I'm just picking one subject. I mean, okay, but if it's blah, 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 yeah, right, or, anybody just kind of, they tune it out. And I think that kind of that's by design. And it's just right. A diversion. It's kind of a diversion because it's the same old, same old. Here's where the value is, I think. Where there's an analysis of what's behind the news, I think if people stopped and thought about that, they would say, holy cow, what the heck is going on? And there might be some more people paying attention, but it is now what it is with the soccer matches and, baseball's on and they've got the celebrations of mixed martial arts on the on the lawn of the White House and fireworks and stuff like that. It's noise. Fireworks are noise. I know we all know that. But the fact of the matter is, everything that's out there is tried to be dumbed down to the lowest common denominator, and so many people tune out. I mean, they'd rather sit on the veranda and drink lemonade, I guess, or something, but the fact of the matter is, there are monumental things that are going on in the world right now, and rare is the individual that's willing to take notice and perk their ears up. It's just the same old. What you're saying is absolutely true. Same old.
And it's shocking to me because there is, or are, whichever you want to say, things happening that do matter and are important that somehow we're taking our part in the, Olympic news and the World Cup news and the baseball. Hey, we got to keep our eye on the ball with regards to some of this stuff. For example, will Congress merge the Israeli military into our military? That's a big question and a big deal. And at first glance, people will be like, no, come on, that's crazy talk. No, it's not crazy talk. It's really before Congress in a very devastating way. People just don't know about it because it's not in the news really hardly anywhere, Doctor.
You're absolutely right. And just to tell you how imminent it is, 2 days ago, the Senate voted. They needed 60 votes to move that forward so that it would fuse the U.S. military and the Israeli military in everything from development to manufacturing to deployment. And it passed. Well, it didn't pass. Okay. It got a majority, 50 Republicans, 46 Democrats. Okay, those 50 Republicans, every one of the Republicans.
So it failed because 60 is the bar, but it passed in terms of there's a majority already supporting it, which means, yeah, they don't have it done yet, but it isn't but a few arm twists away, right?
Oh, absolutely. That 60-vote thing is not a monumental thing with the current sycophants that we've got in there that are kissing. Well, I'll call them bootlicks.
All you got to do behind the scenes is have a little meeting and heighten the fear and heighten the, intel and heighten and twist a few arms and remind a few people that they're compromised and voila, you got it, right?
Well, this is a military bill. It's a must-pass bill, and they usually throw lots of pork into these things because it's like, look, we know this is going to pass, so let's put some stuff in here. I think, though, that Netanyahu and his crew were devastated. Well, maybe not devastated. They were shocked at what happened because of the purchase level of the United States Congress based upon the Israeli lobby. And I can't quite put my finger on why. I don't know if all the Democrats voted against it because Trump and the Republicans are for it, or if they voted against it because the great majority of their constituency is against the continuing wars that Israel seems to be dragging us into.
And I think it's a mixed bag. I think sometimes these senators are more for Palestine. Sometimes these senators are afraid of their constituents. Sometimes these senators are compromised, and so they do their very best whenever they can to vote no so they can look good on their record. But when it's really clutch time, they vote yes. A lot of times they do that too. They kind of behind the scenes say, where I really stand, but I have constituents to look out for. So whenever I can, I'm gonna vote the way the constituents expect me to, so that I can point to those when I have to defend myself. But when it really comes crunch time, I'm gonna, I'm on board. Don't worry about me, guys. And there's kind of a quid pro quo, kind of a behind the scenes understanding on a lot of this too, in the way these people vote, right?
Well, there's no question, but here's the deal. Oh man, our best friend in the region, or maybe in the whole world, is Israel. We got to be with these guys. This completely violates the America First concept, the founding fathers, and this idea of not entangling our alliances. And you know what? People say, well, there's always been a friend. Well, let's stop and think about 1967 Liberty. What happened with that when they attacked it?
Well, and when did Israel really come into existence in its modern incarnation?
Well, it's a United Nations creation. It started in January of 1948, but they started a war over Jerusalem in December of 1947 and dragged everybody and their dog into that thing. And so
I got it. So what I'm trying to get at, though, is even when you look at it, it's really a modern incarnation. If it happened in the late 40s and everything else, the Depression's older than that, and we went for 150 years before that even kind of came to be a thing, right?
Absolutely. But then you look at Jonathan Pollard, if you think back in the 1980s. He spied for Israel. He probably single-handedly did more damage to the security of this nation than all the other spies that have ever worked against the United States at any time throughout our entire history.
Well, him and Kissinger, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, Kissinger was kissing whatever he needed to. But Pollard was a spy for Israel, and he got the sentence to life in 1987. He did some time in there. He got out, had to wear an ankle bracelet for a while. He got his Israeli citizenship in 1995, moved to Israel, pension and all. And these are the people that are our best friends. And if you are integrating them to everything from the development of all technology and the manufacturing of all technology and the integration of all technology in our defense mode, That is very destructive and
From a
damaging.
sovereignty point of view, it's virtually a criminal act, Doctor.
I agree completely. And here's the deal. 50 Republicans. Oh, yeah, that's all of them. Wait a minute. So that means that Utah's senators did? Mike Lee has taken from the Israeli lobby almost $300,000. Curtis has taken only about $67,000 based on the last time I looked.
Yeah, but Curtis ain't been around near as long as Lee either, in terms of on the national internet or national stage, right?
That's correct. So here we have little Utah, the reddest of the red states, right? And I say that very sarcastically, right? But look what we're doing to integrate with a foreign power the development of our defense. Holy cow.
It's Liberty Roundtable Live, everybody. Hang tight.
As you all know, Roe versus Wade has resulted in some of the most permissive abortion laws anywhere in the world. For example, in the United States, it's one of only 7 countries to allow elective late-term abortions, along with China, North Korea, and others. Right now, in a number of states, the laws allow a baby to be born from his or her mother's womb in the 9th month. It is wrong. It has to change. Americans are more and more pro-life. You see that all the time. In fact, only 12% of Americans support abortion on demand at any time. Under my administration, we will always defend the very first right in the Declaration of Independence, and that is the right to life.
In the medical field, IT security is crucial. Our highly skilled consultants are HIPAA certified and have 20-plus years of experience servicing medical clinics, billing, and supply companies. We offer comprehensive endpoint protection, guarding your computers and servers against all stages of threats. And with our 24/7 monitoring services, you'll never worry about extensive downtime again. Ready to level up your IT support? Call 801-706-6980 today and discover how great IT services can be with managed IT services.
All right, so the bottom line is, will it happen, was the question from the webinar last night for Dr. Scott Bradley. I will say the answer is a yes, it will happen, Doctor. I wish it would not. I pray that it would not. I think it's a sovereignty breach like you've never seen before, and I believe it will put us right in the path of terrorist attacks directly, so we'll start to get more and more like Israel. You know, they've got literally armed people all over the place, and they're always on terrorist alert watch, and that's going to come to our shores as we align ourselves more and more and more with Israel. But I'm convinced that's the direction they're headed, and unless the people stand up boldly, nobly, independently, I don't believe we'll stop them. What do you say?
Sadly, I believe you're probably correct. But just to give people an idea, look at what they did when they got in the manufacturing process, the supply chain, if you will, of pagers. And they put explosive charges in these pagers and had a detonation on command all across the Middle East with people that were carrying pagers. Okay, that's a small, insignificant thing, but it was carried out at the behest of the technologists in the Defense Department of Israel. Now, you say, oh, they all deserve to get blown up. That's not my call, but that's what happened. And I suspect that what they're looking for, by and large, the drift of the United States at this moment is away from Israel. And it's very demographically, looked at it age-wise and everything like that. The younger the demographic, the more opposed to this, lapdog.
And that's why they're trying to push so hard to slam dunk this through to make it law, to where it's really, really, really hard to unwind, because they know if they don't do it quickly and a few congressmen and senators die and or get replaced here in the next couple of years, couple of election cycles, et cetera, they may lose the opportunity forever. And I'm convinced that's why it's not in the news very much, and I'm convinced that's why they're pushing so hard for it to happen now.
Need to get in the way of this freight train, kids.
Amen. Couldn't agree more.
You just can't take we can't just watch a soccer game and think, oh, ain't that wonderful. Anyway.
All right, people say this. Why hasn't the Iran war caused fuel prices to skyrocket? But then the headline right after it that I just found today says, oil prices climb. as Middle East conflict threatens global shipping, crude oil prices rose above $85 per barrel, and everybody's worried about the increased traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, etc. And I would say that part of the reason why is because there's all kinds of levers that the government has to pull prices different directions. And I believe they've used those levers. I believe at some point, though, there will be less and less and less oil available, and eventually we will reach crunch time. And I really think that's why Trump is fighting so hard to control the Strait of Hormuz, fighting so hard to get some oil through, fighting so hard for, hey, Venezuelan oil or, other options, because I think he knows eventually this will have an impact that we cannot avoid. And we're getting closer and closer to that. Where the Rubicon is on it, I don't know, because I don't have enough internal intel. But you hear news leak out about it, and then Trump denies it. And so it's really hard to say how close to that brink we are. But the reason that it hasn't been worse is because I believe there's a lot of levers the government has that they can pull that can protect us for quite some time. But eventually, unless something is done significant, it will run out, Doctor.
Well, is August quite some time? I mean, here's the deal. First of all, Americans are so gullible. Oh, it's over, I guess. He's told us that 30 times, 40 times, whatever. We won. Oh, isn't it wonderful?
Now that gets into is the on-again, off-again war on again. And the answer, headline even from this morning, U.S. military carries out new strikes against Iran and Iranian targets. Iran strikes back at all kinds of countries around it relating to our, quote, military bases. The United States conducted initial military strikes near, and then they, this island, and they're, taking care of bridges and all kinds of infrastructure. We need to remember very wisely, folks, if we're not very careful, we're going to end up spending our money to rebuild what we're destroying right now. Don't forget it. That's how we always do it, Doctor.
Well, here's part of the deal. Not only our gullibleness and we suck up and say, oh, it's good, it's fine, and then the price goes down. But they have been supplementing the oil supplies. We and other large nations that have got those kind of strategic petroleum reserves have been supplementing the world's oil supply. Those are finite systems, and they're put aside in case we needed to go to war. We're there. Or in case we're somehow there's interdicted supplies, everything like that. Those things will reach some point where China or us or whomever will say, you know what, we're not pumping any more oil into the world. And at that point, we're going to see that, a critical mass is reached. They can't dip below that. And so we can't do it forever. So there's those kinds of things. And
but
you're
we're putting things
right.
in place, though. Isn't Marco Rubio virtually the de facto dictator of Venezuela right now, kind of?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, Marco Rubio's a very personable guy, but you know what? It isn't his job. He's the Secretary of State. I mean, it's like saying,
I know, but I'm telling you right now, they say that he has a lot of control over Venezuela. And so if we do that, maybe there'll be another source of oil. If we go ahead and, work on the Cuba thing, I mean, there's ways that we can try to pull a rabbit out of a hat on this thing. And that's why I'm saying I just don't know how many levers they've got and what they've got up their sleeves and how long till it reaches the critical mass. I agree the resources are finite unless we can pump more. We haven't been doing things in America to pump more enough that I think we should have been doing so we can truly be independent. But at the same time, I just don't know how quick they'll run out or how close to the brink line it really is, Doctor. I don't know when we fall over that cliff. Do you?
No, I don't know exactly, but I know it's fast approaching. And whether we're going at 90 miles an hour off the cliff or 100, we're still going to go off.
Yeah, but whether it's August or whether it's a year and a half, I don't know.
And when you're talking about the Straits of Hormuz, it was open February 28th. Okay, but it's not now. And they keep saying, it's...
And I don't know that it ever will be again, at least in a clean way that it was before.
Here's the deal. It's going to get worse, and this is the reason, Sam. You remember those guys down in Yemen called the Houthis? Okay.
Yes.
They are right there. Yemen, go look at a map. The Horn of Africa, Yemen, they kind of butt up against each other. There's a strait there. That's a choke point that is amazing into the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. The Hormuz and that choke point have never been closed at the same time. If they choose to do that, through drones or some other attack, it will really
little
put an
teeny swarm
immediate
boats,
choke
whatever
point.
they use, mines,
Whatever
sea mines,
happens, they could do that, and the Houthis are considered to be a surrogate of Iran. This kind of stuff can spiral out of control very quickly, and I really believe that what the hornet's nest that was kicked over February 28th was, the world was perking along with their economy. The United States economy was good. Everybody else was level and straight. Everything got turned upside down by that idiotic effort to go into the war. They say, we can't let them.
You're right about that. Now, the on again, off again, on again war is flat out on again. There's no denying it whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen. Congress, derelict in their duty, continues to sit idly by and let us spend ourselves into oblivion, bomb other countries with virtual, right now, impunity, and it's getting worse by the second. But here's some other questions, though. You had the death of South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, and people are saying that's weird that he died overseas. Some are saying that he, died right when he got back. Some are saying that he was killed. We're getting the cover up, and we said, he came back all safe and sound. It was good, and then he just had kind of a heart issue. But many people are speculating, going, I don't think that's how it happened. He might have been a casualty of the war. It might have been a message sent to Trump saying, see, we can take anybody out we want. Beware. Now there's questions about Trump being assassinated, and Trump saying, if that happens, I've got a plan in place for all these things to go down. It's very strange, Doctor.
Yeah, the intrigue around this whole thing is really weird. He is dead, apparently. They're trying to sing all sorts of praises and accolades upon him. He's a warmonger. I don't know if warmonger's actually in the scriptures, but they've probably got 15 or 20 really strong indicators that indicate a warmonger is somebody that is always encouraging military conflict and all that kind of stuff. That man never stopped doing it. People say, he's pro-life. Huh? Can you be pro-war? Can you be pro-life at the same time? It's okay to kill them once they're born, but don't you dare do that before they're born. Yeah, and the killings on both sides of the war. This guy has been participating in, he wasn't ever there, but he's been blowing on the embers of war every time they come up. He's never seen a scrape that didn't.
Well, and he even came back from where?
He came back from Ukraine just before his passing.
And that's a war that we're not even talking about that's continuing as well, right?
He was probably the chief advocate of the Ukraine war in the United States Senate. He
and
wanted
the chief advocate of the Iranian war, right?
Absolutely.
So, this guy's gone, though, but, do you think that he died just peacefully at home with a heart attack or whatever, like they're saying, just innocent, no issues? Or do you think this is kind of a blowback scenario?
He may have been killed by Putin. I mean, I know you talk about, energy guns that can cause heart attacks and all this kind of stuff. He was in Ukraine. He toured one of their munitions plants that was bombed almost immediately by Putin. The hotel that he was staying at also got assaulted.
Here's why I think something could be the case. The joke kind of is nothing is official until it's been denied. And right when Trump, said that you're foolish to think there's a conspiracy here, Trump's like, hey, if I get assassinated, then, I got a plan in place to just bomb everybody into oblivion. If I go, so will everybody else, kind of an idea. Why would you say that at the same time this guy dies? You wonder if there's a relationship. I don't know, and I don't have any proof. I'm just telling you it's strange. And then you go to the Mitch McConnell discussion and go, what happened there? I mean, they literally show a newspaper article or a sports section with him there, and you kind of go, what's up with that? It's like he was kidnapped, or why would you show that, not just prove that he's alive and well? It's very, very interesting. We'll talk about it more. I'm Sam Bushman. I got Dr. Scott Bradley with me, freedomsrisingsun.com. Check out his incredible weekly webinars Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Get your ticket to Riot at freedomsrisingsun.com. Also, the Collegiate Series to Preserve the Nation. I'm Sam Bushman. God save our constitutional republic.